Welcome back to the PV Agri Report, the weekly voice of South Africa's grassroots agriculture movement. I'm your host, and today we're recapping the Friday 13 March meeting hosted by Bishop Paul Verryn. From climate warnings to regenerative food factories and real community wins, this was another session packed with hope and practical solutions. Let's dive in. First, the weather picture. Dr. Emma Archer from the University of Pretoria dropped the latest South African seasonal temperature and rainfall forecast.
So this is the SST forecast that we issued on Wednesday. And as you can see, sorry, I didn't mean to pull over the anomaly maps. Those are just confusing. But as you can see from the line, it looks like we are trending in the direction of a strong El Nino. And just to say that this builds on the February and the January forecasts, which were also moving in that direction. So it seems to be a consistent trend.
Emma reminded us there are exceptions, but the trend has been building since January. She promised to bring back meteorologist Willem with the April update.
We'll keep you guys updated. I would like my colleague Willem, who's addressed this group before, to come and address you guys again. And maybe we can do that once we've got the April forecast to give an update.
Thank you very much. Emma, maybe just a word on the El Nino.
Sure. So what we call the El Nino Southern Oscillation has got two phases. One is La Nina, which we've just had this summer season. So in the summer rainfall season in Southern Africa, La Nina tends to be associated with above average rainfall, and El Nino tends to be associated with below average rainfall. There are exceptions, and there are other dynamics that drive rainfall in the summer rainfall season. But generally, a La Nina summer rainfall season, like what we've just had in the summer rainfall region, is associated with above normal rainfall, and El Nino is associated with below normal rainfall and sometimes extreme high temperatures.
Perfect. Thank you very, very much.
Then came the main event, a powerful presentation from Tiaan Oosthuizen of Net Zero Nexus and the Institute for Technology and Society.
Thank you, Bishop. So this is a presentation that I've recently done at the International Conference for Green and Sustainable Development. This was in Stellenbosch, hosted mostly by the Northwest Business School. But I'm going to have a quick discussion of what I'm busy with. I'm busy with the innovation platform as a strategic ecosystem initiative. This comes from the mining industry, specifically where I'm looking at what to do after a resource company is not there anymore. So typical extractive companies, and how do you create the future industry? And it's not going to be only a single entity that can look at that. We are looking at an ecosystems approach. So myself, I am G.A. Oosthuizen. I used to be a professor at Stellenbosch, but I've created a new applied research and development institution. We've got an MPC, which is Net Zero Nexus. Net Zero Nexus is headquartered here in Paarl. We're focusing on scalable nature-based solutions, really around getting all our inspirations from nature in order to drive innovation. And it's really about getting university technology out to society for the benefit of society and planet. The institute is 100% owned by this Net Zero Nexus. And it's also the Net Zero Nexus is also the sole shareholder. Our whole idea is to develop technology process chains focused on land, energy, water, carbon, food around that nexus, and we use the innovation platform in order to do that. The platform is really driving these strategic ESG initiatives to enable multi-stakeholder partnerships and also social transitioning. At the end, we wanted to be inclusive. So at the end, we want a sustainability cooperative ecosystem that owns all this, let's call it IP and value chains. So that's what we are working towards. And that is a co-op that we've created. We are based in Paarl. We've got a specific vision to develop future leaders in natural capital conservation and systems engineering. And we're looking at scaling certified nature-based solutions that regenerative ecosystems that sustain livelihoods. We've got a very big vision. Is in a world in which regenerative ecosystem leaders are central to achieving net zero, accelerating biodiversity recovery, sustaining livelihoods, and enhancing planetary health. We've got three big focus areas: skills development programs, innovation, where you find myself, and then also enterprise development. So typically there's all these different skills development programs. From there they can join the institute where they're doing an internship, and from that they can start their own business within a co-op ecosystem. So the big challenge that we're trying to solve is if there's an extractive industry, typical mining and oil and gas. Most of the municipalities and ecosystems are very dependent. These mining dependent communities face economic decline, unemployment, and weak local economies when mines close. So it's really about looking at the model addresses the need for economic diversification and sustainable development in these regions. Typically, like you see now in a place like Carletonville or Welkom or wherever, mine closure still triggers social shock. So that's because most of the secondary economies are weak, and most of these ecosystems are really dependent on a mining industry. So there's an opportunity to really be proactive and to think about how do you develop this regenerative ecosystem. From an opportunity perspective, it's really about taking non-core assets like piece of land or water treatment plants or energy things and really being proactive about the bankable solution. So that's where you start developing business plans and integrating that into a more regenerative ecosystem. So that's really the background and the thinking behind it. And so we design with nature, so ecosystems communities can thrive. What does it look like? Typically, we get a lot of innovators together in a room. We talk about the different challenges, but it's really about an innovation platform that connects universities, communities, enterprises, and investors into a sustainable partnership ecosystem that integrates skills development, enterprise creation, and nature-based solutions. So it's typically getting people in a room, starting with the challenges, going through a design thinking process, seeing how you can link these different activities from social and people and technology development to products and service development up till market and enterprise development for the future industry, mapping them out and getting towards bankable projects. You can go into detail around the inspiration of succession from nature. You can look at the different levels of projects from social up till where it starts making strategic business sense. There's different levels of planning and horizons. It's about getting these different things to work together with regards to industrial symbiosis. And you need to think about risk management when you start putting these initiatives together. So these programs, typically we have all these higher education institutions and CETAs whereby we do the skills development program, but what then? So after that, we create the opportunity where they do part of a YES program or work integrated learning where they can do their internship at our sites. Typically in the Northwest, in the Northern Cape and in the Eastern Cape, we've got project sites. And at this project site, we start creating an opportunity for a person to, within his SMME, he can be part of the ecosystem and he can become a co-op member where he starts growing or he starts selling or he starts processing various products. You will see a lot of it is linked within the food security space and the food security value chain. So just in terms of the structure, the ultimate beneficiaries of all these value chains and systems and technologies and products that we are building is the beneficiaries is all going to be the co-op members or are the co-op members. All of us gets managed by a platform by the Institute for Technology and Society, and the value chains are really operated by SMMEs. For example, at a farm in Stilfontein, which is a tough area for mining. We've got a security company now there. That's one of the SMMEs. That's part of a co-op. We've got a lady that's going to farm rabbits. We've got a young gentleman that's going to farm figs. There's a training institution that's taking care of the skills development. So it's all these different SMMEs and businesses working together to create like a beehive, a honeycomb where we create industrial symbiosis. ultimate beneficiaries over time is going to be the people that use this technology and platform and manages the value chain. That's going to be the ultimate beneficiaries of the ecosystem. So it's really about putting out the challenge. So we set out, okay, let's look at food factories as food production hubs, similar like we've done at universities with the solar vehicles. We said, okay, let's put out the platform and let's get the greatest renewable energy, sustainable farming, zero waste system, local food security practices and technologies, and let's put it out as a challenge. And each hectare that we start developing, we as an SMME, we are only becoming better and better as producers. And on the other side, it's about, okay, let's also develop the markets and let's, obviously you can go into retail, you can go into export, and you can go into various markets, but it's really about developing the local economies. So we are, okay, so we are really developing from the consumer side. We are also developing the open, as an open innovation at scale. We are developing the ultimate consumers within the local communities. So it's about bringing these two together. This is competitions that we run at school level and also at universities, and we implement it within our project sites in the Northern Cape, Northwest, and Eastern Cape. What's typically the outcomes from this is that we've got research and innovation hubs at universities looking at various technologies like deep water culture, vertical towers, aquaponics, hydroponics, solar systems, etc. And this model really promotes job creation, economic diversification, restoration, and stronger collaboration between communities, universities, and industry. We really have internships where we take them into sites at our own food factories, but also at co-op members areas for placement. So it's really about people and technology development. We develop local value chains. So this is specific one that we have in Kraddock, where we are developing these sustainable value chains from a nursery to the community farmers, up to the processing of that, and then the entrepreneurs that is distributing it within SPAZA and various networks within communities. You can see that we received the prizes from the Minister for Best Agro Processing. We received, our ecosystem received something for Women Entrepreneur Awards, Top Entrepreneur Smallholder within the Eastern Cape, and then also Best Agro Processing Entrepreneur. So the solution in terms of value chains are very scalable, it's duplicatable, and it's bankable, which we are very excited about. The market, we are all the time we are developing new products, from snack packs for school kids to grow medium, from biochar, whereby we are doing carbon sequestration, to the various products that we can do in a slice and dice environment, to innovative how we package it, etc. So this is really about partnerships and collaboration opportunities. So we are always looking at seeking collaboration with universities, NGOs, investors, government, private sectors, etc. And it's really about developing sustainable value chains and scaling of regenerative ecosystem initiatives. So Bishop, thank you so much for the platform, and thank you for the opportunity. And this is all from my side. Thank you.
Tian left everyone excited about industrial symbiosis, where waste from one business becomes food or fuel for another. Now straight to our members' updates. This is where the rubber hits the road. John Dearden in the Western Cape reported busy times on the site. A cooperative hit by winter flooding is moving their crops onto higher, safer ground. Dormitories are being prepared for recovering addicts who will get work skills while healing. Tilapia breeding is live with small fish heading into grow-out tanks soon. And the Go-Go's Cafe is fully operational, fresh Gatsby's quota, and produce flying out the door every day. Jack Armour from Free State Agri gave a sobering but action-packed report on foot and mouth disease.
Nancy, I'm very concerned about the Northwest. They're only getting very little vaccine because of the poor state of state vet services there, and cooperation, coordination, and logistics, and working together there. So, but that's one of the epicenters of where the virus is spreading. And we know how dependent a lot of people in the Northwest are on livestock or cattle farming. So yeah, it's a big threat at the moment to all farmers, for big and small farmers. One of the success stories we got in Warden Commonage last week, the farmers jumped in and helped with animal handling facilities, mobile crushes and things like that. And together with the state vets, they managed to vaccinate 930 cows in one day.
Jack introduced the massive Congo water transfer scheme. Imagine bringing water all the way from the Congo to create 1 million hectares of new irrigation land, 800 jobs, and enough food to feed the continent under a true Ubuntu cooperative model. Watch this space. Poggy from the Women in Agriculture Rural Movement shared an urgent story from Orange Farm. A 3-year school garden project feeding kids and unemployed mothers was suddenly cancelled by a new principal amid allegations of corruption. The women celebrated International Women's Day together and are now organising a march and government intervention, while also campaigning to get agriculture back on the school syllabus so the next generation inherits the skills.
Let us just pray together. We're still inviting.
And Mr. Mbata in KwaZulu-Natal updated us on the Legal Resources Centre's battle with the Department of Mineral Resources over Zach Mine's social and labour plan. The community is demanding transparency before any mine exit, a perfect example of why proactive models like Tian's are so needed. Throughout the call, Bishop Verryn was busy making connections. Tian to Dr. Modise at Central University of Technology, to Lima Foundation in Walkham, and to Mr. Mbata for KZN mining work. Dr. Shillane and others offered corporate networks for youth employment and funding. That's the PV Agri magic. Problems get named, solutions get shared, and partnerships get born. So what's the takeaway this week? Climate change is coming, but so are brilliant, locally owned regenerative solutions. Whether you're a smallholder worried about land, a young person seeking practical training, or an organization with resources, there is a place for you in this movement. If you want to join the WhatsApp group, get the full newsletter, or connect directly with any of the speakers, drop us a message or visit the link in the description. Until next Friday, 20 March, keep planting, keep sharing, and remember, we are better together.